The Stalker modding community is the gift that just keeps on giving. Over the last couple of months, I've made several videos showing off some absolutely amazing stuff that's been coming out over on ModDB for Stalker Anomaly, and every month that passes, a new add-on gets dropped that leaves me even more impressed than the last. Today we're going to be talking about 3 mods in particular, all brand new and receiving regular updates. As usual, links to each mod will be in the description below if you're interested in checking them out for yourself. Leave a like if you enjoy, and let's get into it. So the first mod we're going to be checking out today is one called Brotherhood, which adds something that I think is much needed to base Anomaly, and that is proper scripted quests. With the Brotherhood mod, you'll be getting all sorts of new dialogue options, NPCs, and tasks that make Anomaly feel a bit more like the classic games, with the fact that now we get some unique tasks to do rather than the monotonous and repetitive repeatable quests we get in the base game. This is something I've been saying that we need for a long time. One of Anomaly's biggest flaws, in my opinion, is that it can sometimes lack the sense of world building that the original game had, since, by default, the vast majority of NPCs only give you very basic and simple tasks, that far too often end up being the same over and over again, with only slight variations. This mod remedies that quite a bit and makes you feel like there's more of a purpose and an impact to what you're doing in-game, and that's something I can really appreciate. While the Brotherhood mod certainly doesn't do anything crazy, it is nice to see actual scripted events happening, with more proportionate rewards to boot upon completion. Getting to work with other factions, meet at specified locations, and actually interact with NPCs beyond just trading with or shooting at them really adds a lot to the gameplay and the world, and makes the whole thing feel much more fleshed out and immersive. This makes Brotherhood a must-have on any mod list. The next mod we're going to be talking about is one that I've actually covered before and also one of the most impressive, only now it's gotten several updates since I last talked about it that make it worth playing. The mod in question is New Level 0.51. For years, it had been debated if it was even possible to add new levels to Anomaly, and a few months ago, modders proved that it is in fact possible by adding a new level to the game in form of Prom Zone, a large open map featuring a few random structures, a giant satellite dish, and a massive factory complex to the north. After Prom Zone was added, another level in the form of Grimwood would also make its way into the game. Grimwood is a large woodland map with a sort of greener, more open-ended approach than the Red Forest we see in vanilla. It serves as a more immersive link between the Dead City and the army warehouses, being situated between the two. Between the rows of trees and dense foliage, you can find rotting abandoned structures, stalker camps, and plenty of mutants to hunt, or be hunted by. As if this all wasn't enough already, just a few weeks later, the add-on would offer us yet another new level to explore, this one even larger than the last in the form of Yuzny, an abandoned and mysterious ghost town whose origin is a topic of debate. According to the new lore added, stalkers aren't sure if this place is even from our dimension or if the zone quote-unquote stole it from somewhere else, as nobody remembers it even existing before the creation of the zone. Situated just northeast of the garbage, this is something I feel Anomaly has always needed. A brand new city level that wasn't relegated to the extreme north really spices up the gameplay early on, and this place is just so interesting to explore. The mod maker could have stopped there, and new levels would go down in my mind as a must-have in one of the best mods out there, but there's still more. Just a few weeks ago, 2 brand new areas were implemented in the form of underground levels called Bunker and Collider. Not only that, but this mod now has its own scripted quest to explore these new undergrounds. They start off at the bunker in Yantar, but will soon have you traveling all over the southern parts of the zone, and they yield some pretty nice rewards, and the storyline is interesting for sure. I don't want to say or show too much here regarding this to avoid any major spoilers, but I highly recommend downloading this mod and giving its quests a go, as they are fantastic. The last thing, and perhaps one of the best things I have to point out about this add-on, is that with its most recent update, the new game requirement that used to exist is no longer a thing. Now, no new game is required to enjoy these levels or their quests. The mod page also says that there might be even more content added in the future, so needless to say, this has me incredibly excited. Moving on from gushing about the new levels add-on, the last one I wanted to talk about in this video is called Western Goods. Western Goods is an add-on that adds, well, Western goods. Upon adding this to your mod list, you'll start to see all kinds of Western branded items enter your zone, from potato chips to Snickers bars to sodas, but that isn't all. How did all this junk food get here? Well, the mod has an answer to this question in the form of another scripted quest line. Again, I don't want to say too much for fear of spoiling the mod's story, but all I will say is that if you want to start it, go to the mercenary base in the Pripyat outskirts to start the journey. Before I wrap up, I want to quickly mention one last mod as sort of an honorable mention, unrelated to the rest, and that is Creatures Weaken by Kamina555. It's modular, and you can choose in Mod Organizer 2 what changes you do or don't want it to make to your game. Basically, what this add-on does is solve some of the unrealistic and absurd damage outputs of certain mutants in vanilla Anomaly. Are you sick of being one-hit killed by a small dog that comes flying at you from halfway across the map at the speed of a sports car? This mod allows you to optionally slow down mutants, slightly lower the damage they do, and control how territorial they are. I always felt like compared to the vanilla games, mutants were a bit too aggressive in vanilla Anomaly and its offshoots like Gamma. It's like every single animal in the zone is actively trying to hunt down and kill you, and for me, it really took away the immersion and believability of the whole setting. It always felt like unnecessarily difficult just for the sake of it. Now this add-on by no means makes mutants pushovers either, it just makes some of them a bit less overpowered. I personally only use the part that slightly nerfs the attacks and aggressiveness of things like fleshes, so it adds a nice bit of realism to the game. So those are the mods I wanted to feature in this video. Leave a like on it if you enjoyed or found any of these useful in your own game. I'm really excited for what the future of Anomaly holds at this point. Like I started to allude to a bit earlier, I've always had this sort of love-hate relationship with Anomaly, in that I like the stability it brought to Stalker, as well as the depth it has, but I always hated how the base game and its offshoots like EFT and especially Gamma seemed to go more in the direction of extreme, hardcore, artificial difficulty, while also not adding much in terms of actual new and interesting content. It's like those mods put all the emphasis on grinding and difficulty, and I personally don't think that's what Stalker is about. I like to see new locations, I like to see the mutants, I like to explore and experience the immersion, rather than worrying so much about artificial difficulty. So seeing these new add-ons come out with new levels, quests, and items, it really leaves me hopeful for what we might be seeing in the near future. I love every single mod I've put in this video and highly recommend all of them, but that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching to the end if you did indeed make it this far. As always, have a great day, and stay safe. Goodbye.